Decades of severe weather experience here for you when it counts. This is Doc Deason's Weather, live now.
Hi, everybody. It is a 5:02, and we're going to continue to keep tabs on the warnings that have come across over the last couple hours. Storms have produced some significant hail. Biggest thing I've seen so far reported baseballs out towards 271, 155 there north of UT. Health Center earlier on, and we've got another storm which is going to impact more directly the heart of Tyler here in the next little bit. So let's take a look at that. We've got 1, 2, 3 storms that we've been watching of late. The second storm passing off to the east, the third storm coming into Smith County now, and is into the county and is the one that is going to impact us more directly. Coming in out of the west, these things continue to kind of just bubble up at random and are running generally kind of from west to east, and are going to get a lot of people's attention. This third one here is going to come across and do, I think, more in the way of hail and rain than we've seen in South Tyler in several days. And so we've missed a lot of this stuff over the last week or so, but it looks like at least the heart of Tyler going to get a pretty good dose of it here in the next little bit. So what we're dealing with is nothing tornadic. It's all been really severe thunderstorm hail producers, really the main thing. This is the scan out of the Shreveport radar showing some hail, probably quarters from 64 back across to Highway 31, and then kind of arcing back to the southeast along the South Loop, 69. There's 155. These things, again, have produced really good hail today, and so we don't want to sleep on any of these indicators that we might discount on other days. We've got a lot of moisture loaded into this air column and some good support aloft, cold air aloft. Got hail there, West Tyler Peace to quarters, 64 and 31, Corey. Thanks for that. That lines up then with what we're saying. Basically, anything in this purplish shading is going to be capable of doing at least quarters. You see a few brighter pixels in there that could go a little bit further than that, maybe $50. Keith's got some pea-sized hail in South Tyler that makes sense. And the lightning is obviously in there with these things as well. I haven't seen anything tornadic out of it. The better hail potential, honestly, is going to be further to the east, over just north of Chapel Hill, kind of northeast of Chapel Hill along 31. On the east side of the county, I bet there's some golf balls in there just west of Douglas. This will be north of 850, south of 31. So 31, 850 cuts off of 31 there on the east side of the county. And out in that area, I bet you we will have something along the lines of quarters to golf balls in this particular area. So if you're west of 246 and north of 850 out in the eastern part of Smith County, be mindful of that hail on the way to you. Additional storms, the one that kind of began the big fanfare, this thing is now down north of Henderson, or northeast of Henderson. This one produced some golf balls at Hideaway Lake earlier on, and it's probably still doing something along those lines. I would bet at least quarters, maybe some $50 in there. South of Stewart, there's Durgeon and Liberty. north of Highway 43 as you kind of get a little bit northwest of 43 there into that section of what would be Rusk County. I'm seeing P's to quarters probably here at the real estate office right now. We're inside the loop. Let's see here. Yeah, we definitely got P's to quarters here. I'd say probably dimes to quarters. Send that off to the Weather Service so they know what we are seeing here. So that kind of jives with what we were seeing on the radar earlier on. Looks like more dimes than anything at the moment here. And some good heavy rain, which we appreciate the rain. The hail not obviously as much. This other storm here again continues, kind of storm number 2, so to speak, continues dropping, I bet, some healthy hail. Again, south of 31, north of 850. You guys in Overton, be mindful of that. As this thing passes just to the north of you. You guys had one there that passed, and then this guy here is going to be really close to y'all in the north side of Overton especially. So do keep that in mind. I think we've transitioned, it sounds like, back to more just straight up rain here at the office with maybe a few hailstones mixed in, but not as much as we had here just a few minutes ago. So that's good. Additional storms, that one back up towards Grand Saline. We'll look at that in a second. No warning on it. The only warnings that we have right now are for these storms right across the central sections of East Texas. Weather Service went ahead. Storm Prediction Center redid severe thunderstorm watch. So they're going to include us in that until midnight tonight. That'll be for some additional storms trying to develop later on this evening. But that basically is going to cover pretty much most of the area through the evening hours of tonight. P's at Old English Village. Thanks, Tony. Appreciate that, man. Southeast Kilgore got nickels to quarters with a couple of louder pops on the roof. Okay, Gretchen, thanks for that. Appreciate you being there, Randy. Thanks, man. P-size at the mall right now, Karen. Appreciate it. So again, normally we don't hop on too much for severe thunderstorms in general, but when there's going to be a higher impact situation and we can facilitate it, I do like to come on and just kind of visit with you about that as time permits. Nothing tornadic in this. Haven't seen any reports of anything of that nature. Weather Service and the Storm Prediction Center are going with severe thunderstorm watches versus tornado watches, which obviously is hopefully helps settle you down a little bit. Let's take a look at this storm over here towards Grand Saline. Before we do that, let's get on the radar out of Fort Worth, which gives us a little better vantage point on that. So we'll swing them in, and that storm looks a little bit better on the radar south of Grand Saline. Saw some hefty hail between Van and Grand Saline earlier on. I think it was golf balls. I had a friend of mine who shot me a picture of a hailstone that looked like it was a golf ball by the time this guy got home. It hit him when he was on a motorcycle, believe it or not, out west of Lindale. And he said it was closer to baseballs when it actually hit the ground. But by the time he got it home, it had melted substantially. So not the kind of thing you want to be running in on exposed like that. But again, this thing, nothing severe, at least from a warnings perspective right now, south of Grand Saline, north of Van. But I bet you there's some small hail in there. Yeah, looks like some more golf balls in northern Rusk County. Saw a lot of hail reports up Mineola area earlier on. So that's just kind of been the general story, and it'll continue to be potential tonight as we get into the to the overnight hours. We'll have some additional storms try to get themselves going, and that'll lead to additional potential for some severe weather overnight tonight as well. All the precip has stopped in South Tyler. Your place there, Keith. Thank you, man. Appreciate it, Joseph. Thank you, man. So there's Grand Saline, storm up near Greenville, Sulphur Springs, Hopkins County. You guys have had some pretty good storms here over the last couple of hours. Nothing warned on in your area at the moment, so that's good. Up near Tyra, we had I think it looked like some golf ball sized hail up northern sections of Hopkins County earlier on this afternoon, and there's a little storm there over Franklin County, north of Mount Vernon. Nothing severe in that. Several warnings out for up in Idabel, southeast Oklahoma, southwest Arkansas. Shreveport office has had their hands full here with storms of late, and they've got them over a couple of states here this afternoon. Nothing really doing back way west of us towards DFW, at least for the moment, so that's encouraging. The big show again going to continue to be what we're watching from these storms. Over Smith, right there along the Panola Rusk County line and the Rusk Smith County line as well. So this hail potential is now getting into the southeastern part of the city of Tyler. Out there along 64, there's 64 east going towards Chapel Hill, 69. There's Broadway here. Okay, there's Broadway. There's 64. So we're going to kind of position this stuff out in that southeastern part of town. I would bet Quarters in there probably. Doesn't look quite as bright as far as hail potential as it did earlier. So that's good. But that will be taking itself off to the east. We'll put a loop back in place on this thing to show you kind of general motion on this stuff. So we've just kind of been 1, 2, 3. There's been crossing. A little train coming right across the county. So this will drop some decent hail, Chapel Hill area. You guys be ready for that here shortly. Not as impressive looking as the storms which have come through prior to, but we've got that one. The secondary storm now into the close into the Tatum area. Doesn't look as strong as it did earlier on, which is a good sign there. And then the third storm, that is the third storm there. Here's our second storm that's getting into the Smith and Rusk County line right there, just north side of Overton. This thing will probably pass, the core of it's going to pass just south of Kilgore. So 5:15, severe thunderstorm warnings in place, nothing tornadic. I have not seen anything of that nature throughout this event, or else we would have been on to tell you about that. Severe thunderstorm watch box till midnight for most of the area. The rain's let up a lot here at the office. Picked up, what do we get here? A little over a quarter inch, so 2,800ths here at the real estate office in Old Jacksonville, about a mile inside the loop. So we're thankful for the rain. It's going to be a busy time for folks getting roofs assessed. Obviously, if you need help with that, I encourage you to call our friends at Rose City Roofing, who have been supporters of our page here for a while. Give them a call if you need somebody to take a look at your roof. Obviously, want to get those types of things addressed sooner rather than later. They can help you with the insurance side of things as well. So keep them in mind. We keep their information coming on the bottom of the screen there. So grab that number and give them a call. Tell them I sent you over. Okay. As it stands right now, worst of the weather is about to exit out of Tyler proper. And we don't have anything back upstream for the moment. That storm near Grand Saline, we'll watch it. Some showers trying to get going down along Lake Palestine, Coffee City area, 155. We'll watch those, but they seem to be pretty modest at the moment. Some lightnings in there. Haven't heard a lot of thunder over the past couple of minutes, so that's good. And the lightning production overall doesn't look to be terribly impressive on this second storm. A little bit better lightning production on that first storm out towards Beckville now. Hey there, April. Thanks for stopping by. So questions or concerns that you have, feel free to let us know about those. Definitely don't want to cause any more concern than people already have with storms and especially hailers. Appreciate you, Keith. Thanks, man. The overall trend on this stuff is something we'll be watching. Hey, Jerry. This little guy here west of Mineola just kind of popping up. That's the one we had out near Grand Saline. Looks a little bit better on radar than it did just a few minutes ago. So we'll watch it. No warnings on it. Better lightning production in that one. Cameron, appreciate you. So we get most of the area in the severe thunderstorm watch box. That's going to run until midnight tonight. Their Storm Prediction Center still continues concerned about the large hail up to 3-inch in diameter. That's going to be the main driver for that, and then the damaging winds up to 70 miles an hour. Tornado with 2 can't be ruled out, but that, as far as if you were going to put a ranking on concerns, the tornado concern is much further down the road than the hail concern for sure. That's a good question, Alana, asking about the environment of the storms. I think you're basically asking if the storms that we have now are going to kind of cripple the environment for additional storms later. Not necessarily. We'll have some decent energy coming across tonight. I mean, we've got a temperature of 80 right here at the office and a dew point of 70. Yeah, a dew point of 75. So we got a lot of juice in the atmosphere. We've got peak heating going on right now. So I don't necessarily think we're going to really wreck the atmosphere per se for additional storms to develop tonight. So that'll be something that we'll keep an eye on this evening, and as that better lift comes into play overnight. It had looked like earlier that we would see some storms develop overnight out west of us, out towards DFW, kind of like what happened last night, and move into the area from the west. The ones this morning passed well more further north of Tyler, and I didn't have any rain in the gauge at all this morning at the co-op observing spot here in South Tyler, but we saw some pretty good amounts further to the north, and so that'll be something to watch overnight as additional storms, and you can see some of those trying to pop. Although we're looking at this on the Shreveport radar, you can see the storms popping up out closer to DFW, even on their radar out of Shreveport. We'll pull back into that Fort Worth radar real fast and see what that looks like. So you can see this guy out here near Kaufman, and the one that we were talking about near Grand Saline. That one looks a little bit more organized. We'll watch this little guy down here towards Lake Palestine. There's that one up in Greenville. Stuff north of Sulphur Springs, up there along the Delta Hopkins County line. You guys up there near Jim Chapman Lake. I'll get it right in a second. East of Tyra. Probably some nickels to quarters in that along 71 and back up Cunningham area southwest of there. So we'll be watching that. Let's get back on the Get back on the Shreveport radar real fast, and we'll look at that for a minute. If you've got pictures, anything you want to send over my way, feel free to do that. You can email those to me. Trying to think if I have a... Let's see here. Your social media stuff, for one, that helps you at least to try to find us in other locations. Again, when we stream live here, we also do so on YouTube. So some folks may have access to YouTube that they don't have Facebook or Twitter access. So good to kind of have that in mind. A lot of folks like to stream this stuff up on the TV, I found over the past couple of years. But you can email me, doc@docdeason.com. So if you have something that you do want to get, be sure that I see. That email is a good way to do that. So again, doc@docdeason.com. Had some pictures come in earlier today from some folks, and that it's always good to see that. And of course, if it's stuff that you put into the Facebook feed, I'll eventually see that stuff as well. You bet, Candace. Thanks for being here. But as it stands now, the severe thunderstorm warnings continue for Smith as well as Rusk. They did include southern Gregg County in the warning. Longview, you are not in any kind of situation to be concerned with at the moment. Storms there south of Kilgore and also back over towards Beckville. And this guy here near Chapel Hill right now, putting a little bit better hail potential in there. So you guys from Chapel Hill, this thing's going to stay good ways north of White House, but further down 64 towards ARP and Overton area, be mindful of this thing coming your direction here in the next 15 to 30 minutes or so. And these things are not moving very slow. They're moving a pretty good clip, anywhere from 40 to 50 miles an hour. I think I saw one moving 55 miles an hour earlier on. So forward speed on these things has not been bad. So they will get in and get out at a pretty good clip. Okay. All right. So we are sitting here at 5:24. I am going to step away for a couple minutes. We'll be posting stuff as we need to with static images throughout the evening hours as they pertain to warnings and watches and things like that. If we see some pictures, we'll obviously shovel those along to you as well. If you see those, feel free to, again, send them my way. Always glad to have that. Always glad to have folks part of our live stream here. We enjoy doing this, being able to help out and kind of pitch in the cause when we can. And fortunately, nothing tornadic today, but the hail has been a big thing. And I think we'll hear lots more about today's storms as the days and weeks unfold from here, moving forward with folks finally getting a feel for what damage, if any, they had at their place. So for now, we'll hang back. Again, thanks to our friends at Rose City Roofing for helping us out with this and our page in general. If you need anything from me, feel free to reach out, and I'll talk to you guys here this evening as we go through the evening with additional updates as they're warranted, okay?
Thanks for watching this live broadcast from Doc Deason's Weather. When weather's at its worst, we're at our best. Doc Deason's Weather, the calm in the storm.